regardless, whether I'm hearing the music, whether you're performing on stage or anything, I feel like the way that you perform is sexy without being naked. You know what I mean? It's a sensuality.
I mean, as you grow up and become a woman, you learn that sexiness is not what you wear. It's just who you are. Either you are sexy or you're not.
Right.
There's nothing that a nude shoot or, you know, a pair of panties or, you know what I'm saying, like, or a pair of high heels. There's nothing that can make you feel sexy if you're not sexy.
Right.
And sexiness is a thing that comes from within that you just exude. It's not anything that you, it's nothing that you do, it's nothing that you say, it just drips off of you.
That's right.
All the time. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you're at church with your grandma, you're gonna be sexy in your church dress.
That's real. So in terms of things that you have to, I guess, confront being a woman in the industry and, you know, sex sells and all that other stuff, how did you find your own way of exuding that without, you know what I'm saying, without maybe having to get, you know, extra with it? I mean, or doing it the way that you want to do it?
I think I just started fantasizing and writing about it. So, I mean, writing a song like No More, I mean, kind of throws you into the sex.
Oh, it does.
So I just started fantasizing about, like, you know, the things that we all like, you know, a woman fantasizes about. Sex, but in a way that is almost like love. Yeah, what people don't understand about sex and sexuality is that it's a very vulnerable thing. People think that sexuality is like overt and aggressive and strong, but it's not really. It's a vulnerable thing. You have to be very vulnerable to be outwardly sexy, because you're showing a side of yourself that may make, you know, that will make a lot of people feel a lot of ways.
How did you become comfortable with performing that way on stage?
The performing period, I just had to go up there and kind of tap out and not think about it. I have to get lost in the music. So that makes it easy if you're completely hallucinating on stage and you forget that you're performing. It's easy to grab your crotch and jack yourself off on stage.
Yeah, that would.
And then when you tap back in, you might be like, what the fuck just happened? But you know, like I said, it's a vulnerable moment. It's an honest moment, you know. So yeah, I just try to do that and not think about it, and it just kind of comes out of me. And my dad was also one person that told me after he saw a show, he was like, yo man, you gotta be more sexy. He was like, you have to drive the dudes crazy. My dad is the one that gave me the idea for the onstage costume change, because I was like, I want to do a costume change in the middle of the show and I'll go off stage. He was like, no, people want to see you. You should never leave the stage. You should just have someone come up and undress you on stage. And I was like, okay. And we did it in New York at SOBs, and it was fucking dope.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a clip of it on YouTube that is actually pretty great.
Okay, well,
yeah.
We're going to find a link to that and get to this.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, in terms of how people can find the music, follow J Davey, follow what you're doing, whatever, what do they need to hit up?
www.jdaveybaby.com. I have a blog, missjackdavey.blogspot.com. That's Miss MISS jackdavey.blogspot.com. It's a random little thing, but it's fun sometimes. And we're on Twitter and MySpace, if anybody still goes on MySpace.
They might.
Yeah. The last time I was on there was a ghost town.
You know, these social network things, I mean, what
they come and they go.
They come and they go.
Facebook, I mean, just Google J Davey and all that shit will pop up.
Everything will come up.
And have yourself a jolly old time.
That's right. For the other artists out there and the other, like, mini Miss Jack Davey out there, what words of advice do you give for them on the journey?
I would say never let anyone tell you who you are as an artist. Always stick to your guns. And do first, ask permission later. And just fucking do it. Why not?